Right then folks, welcome back to Down the Edge Angling. Now, me being a beginner angler a few years back, one of the first things I ever did was look on the internet, try and find a video to fish a method. Now, an example I'd use is the method feeder. I'd look on the internet, try and find a video about the method feeder, set it up, go to my local commercial and hopefully try and fish the method feeder. But a lot of the times it's not like that. We've planned to go and fish a certain method, but sometimes we actually have to adapt and we have to use different style of methods. For example, we have to fish shallow or whatever it may be. So the whole purpose of today's session is not just to run you through one feature like I usually do, but in fact it's just going to be me fishing a pleasure session, how to fish commercials on a pleasure session. So I'll run you through different methods and different baits and how I'd like to approach it. We've come to Bonehill Mill, we're on the donut today. I've not fished this lake very often recently. I've been on the big lakes quite recently trying to get a couple of big fish, so it's nice to come back and lay back a little bit and try and catch some of the smaller stamp fish. But yeah, so I'll run you through the rigs then. So if you're a beginner like myself, hopefully this is going to benefit you a little bit, because then you're not just setting up one method, you'll have a little bit more insight to how to switch between your lines and all sorts. So the first rig is our shallow rig. Now, conditions aren't the best. We're supposed to have a weather forecast of sunny today, but that doesn't really seem to have happened. But a few showers, but it's not really affecting. There's still plenty of fish on the top. So we've got a 6 to 8 green and an elastic there, lovely and soft. Feel fish fire, and then just enjoy playing the slightly 2-3 pound fish on this elastic. It's fun. 016 Drennan Suplex straight through to a 0.2 Drennan Crystal Dibber. These are perfect for fishing shallow. I'm not fishing very far out today. I'll probably fish in the top kit and 2, and then maybe about 8 meters on a longer line. So I don't need the inline, which is the bigger size dibbers. So I don't really need to see that far out. It's just very in front of us. Quick indications, quick fishing the peg. So a little float like that's going to be really good. 3 number 8s under it, about an inch, so it cocks nice and easily. And then a size 16 GPM hook from Preston, and then I've just got that to a latex band from Drennan. That's the first rig. We're going to start that shallow rig off at 12 inches. I always start at 12 inches, it's just a preference, and we can work our way up and down to see what the fish want. This one is slightly lighter. This is a 4 to 6 aqua bungee, so this is perfect for catching smaller fish, catching you know, the silvers. We can even catch a 2-3 pound carp on this elastic. It's just a different elastic to use on the deck. So the deck rig is just a 0.3 rugby style float with a nice big purple tip, so I can see it. Probably fishing about, what's that, about 4 foot maybe. Fishing 2 lines, top kit in 2, and then the full 8 meters. Just before where that tree's fallen down, so we're not going to get snagged up in there. Both same depth. We've just got about 6 number 10s lower down. This is so it helps the rig fall through the water nicely. So that's just a spread bulk up the line, and then coming down to yet again another 016 hook length with a size 16 GPM hook from Preston to a latex band. So those are that's the rig there. We've also plumbed it up to a margin in case come down the edge. It's not really a heavy margin peg this, or even the lake. It's not really margin fished, but it's just nice to have that there, and that's probably just about, I don't know, I think it's probably about 2 foot. It's quite shallow. Then we've just got a 9 foot Acolyte Plus rod, the feeder edition, and then we've just got a 3000 size frenzy reel, and all I've done is I've put 8 pound line on it because I'm fishing 8 pound on the other venue, so I've just come here and used that. I've just got a bomb, a 15 gram bomb, and we're just going to be chucking that overhead to the far side, clipped it up nice and easy, and then we've just got a size 14 KKMB to a pellet band. So this is just a nice method. Probably won't use it very often, maybe if the fishing gets really hard, but it's just good to have that if you need it. Baits then, first bait, well the main bait really is 6mm pellets. This venue, you know, you're going to be catching fish from anything up to really small, up to about 3 pound. 2-3 pound is the average stamp in here, so 6mm on the hook and then loose feed in the pellets works well here. We've just got 2 tubs of that. I like to have one close to me for when I'm catapulting instead of me having to reach behind me to get it. But yeah, just got a nice one there. And then we've got a couple of 4 mil expanders. Probably not using the expanders, that's why I've not really put many in. This is just an additive in case maybe I'm going after the smaller fish on the deck, or they might want a softer pellet. I can just experiment, but I don't really fish with expanders on this venue much, but it's just good to have a backup. And then lastly is just some red ground bait. Some of the dynamite baits, margin mix, just a little bit, probably mixed up about a pint, maybe a pint and a half there. This is just when I come down just to fish down that edge line. Like I say, it's just an additive. You know, I like to approach me longer lines and then slowly come in towards the end of the day and come down there. But in case it works, you know, we feed the pellets down there as well. So it's a very, very pellet based approach. Pellets on the long line, pellets on the short line, shallow on the deck, on the bottom, and then down the edge later. So those are the methods and the baits for today. Hopefully we're going to ship out now and get a few fish. We're going to start shallow and then we're going to see where it goes. If we're not catching, might try the longer line and then maybe the deck, but it's supposed to be really sunny today, but obviously that's not the case. So I'm wondering maybe if the fish have come off on the bottom, but I can see a few on the top. So we'll try and work the bait, get the fish in the swim, and you'll join me back when I've caught into a few fish. Right, so we're going to ship out now. So we're just going to get our shallow rig to start with. I'm hoping that the conditions do pick up. Like I say, I do want a nice weather in the day's fishing, but it's just showering at the minute. So what we'll do is we'll just get this the 6 mil, and then we're going to go out. We'll start on the top kit in the 2 because I've seen a few fish top in there. I've not fed any bait in to start with, so we'll just get that in there. And all I'm going to do is my usual shallow approach. Whenever I fish shallow, I always follow a very, very simple method. So I like to loose feed a few pellets and slap the rig over the top, wait 5 or 10 seconds, and then I'm just going to slap the rig 3 times and then repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, wait 5 to 10 seconds again, and then I'm just going to loose feed some more pellets. And that's the way we're going to start today. We're just going to try and feed very, very positively. I fished on this it's like a few days ago, also shallow, when we had a bit of a nicer day's weather. But yeah, and we had a few fish shallow. But remember, when you're shallow fishing, you might catch one day at a certain depth, and the other day you might catch at a different depth. So don't expect to catch on the same depth every day. So I always start at 12 inches, work the bait, and then see if we're catching fish. If we start foul looking a few fish, then I might maybe have to come up a little bit shallower. But if we're not catching, I might try and go a little bit deeper. But it's all about getting the fish confident in the swim, working the bait, making them feel confident to compete and come up for that bait, and we should be into a fish in no time. I've seen a few carp swirling around, so I'm hoping we'll get a few in the swim. But it's just experimenting. Like I say, it's a pleasure day session today, so I can take my time, I can see what's working, what's not working, and if it's really not happening today with carp swimming right around the flow, if it's really not happening today in terms of the shallow, I can change the depth, I can change the rig, there we go, first fish on. All we're going to do is just ship back, keep the pole tip low, feed some pellets into the swim that we're fishing. And with this light elastic, it's really good to just feel the fish pull. You know, we're catching 2-3 pound carp, so just keep the pole low, let the elastic do the work, and just feel the fish come towards you. It's just really enjoyable days fishing. But like I say, you want to keep the bait going in. So I'm playing this carp by the looks of it, and then I'll probably wait 20 seconds or so, and then if I've not brought it in, feed some bait. Now if I was in a match, I'd probably use a slightly heavier elastic because I want to get them fishing quicker. So I'm hoping I would have got the fishing by now, but with me using a lighter elastic, you know, the fish is pulling a little bit more. But like I said, that's down to preference, and that's down to me just wanting to enjoy a lovely day's pleasure fishing. Yeah, so you see I've got a lot of elastic out here. The beauty of the pulley kits, I'm using the Drennan Acolyte Pro margin carp pole because it's, like I say, I'm not fishing very far, so a 9.5 metre pole is perfect for today's session. and I've just got these roller puller kits, which is what I'm using to bring the fish in today. So as you can see, one tip that I can tell you that from me being a beginner and that I've learned the hard way is don't bring the landing net out straight away, because you're just going to spook the fish. I like to keep it in my legs ready for when that fish comes up to net, and then if it's not ready to net, the pole tip goes back down low, you strip the elastic, and then you wait for that fish to come up, and then you hook it. But it's a hard fighting fish. Took some more pellets out there. Tell you what, I'll give it to this fish, it is a hard fighting fish. Net ready, fish is coming up, common carp. And he's trying to shoot off again. There you are, and he comes in the net, so put him in the net. Nice and easy, there we go. Lovely first fish to have, and like I say, that was very, very quick as well. We weren't there a long time, we were probably there less than a minute, just making that bait work. Obviously when you're playing the fish, you know, you are spending a lot of time out of the water not slapping, so you've just got to make up for that when you slap. So 3 slaps, and have the pellets ready to feed again, and hopefully a few fish have come into the swim and felt a bit of confidence to come up and feed. Because it doesn't take long to build up a big weight of fish at this venue, or any really shallow. It's a great method to use. So work that bait, work the pellet. Oh, we missed one then. That was me reaching down to get some pellets. That's on me, that one. Yeah, big tip, keep your eye on the float. Hopefully a carp comes up and takes the pellet. One of the best things about, you know, fishing shallow is you are chucking in so much bait to the point that you are very, very likely to create a swim on the bottom of the water. So obviously all those pellets fall down, and the pellets that them fish do not take create a nice little swim on the bottom. So sometimes if you're not catching, you're in a match as well, you know, just stick a different top kit on and go down there, and hopefully you might get a couple of extra bonus fish. There we are, fish on again. Now all I'm doing is that when I hook into these fish, I'm trying to be really aggressive, because they like to swim straight to the far side and try and snag me up, and I don't want that to happen. And that's one thing that I'm quite on when I fish that longer line. I need to ship back very, very quickly and be very aggressive with the fish, because I don't want to be snagged up on that side. You know, that tree's fallen down, so that's a potential hazard for me to get snagged up on. So I don't mind playing the fish out down the edge of the track, just not to the far side. So I can see that carp. It's a nice little mirror carp. Right then, so we've been fishing that shallow line for about an hour now, and it's been mixed results really. We've had quite a few fish off it. We started off catching a fish maybe every 30 seconds, you know, a couple of slaps and probably maybe 2 feeds of pellets, and then it's gone quite difficult. It's gone maybe a fish every 2-3 minutes. I've altered the depth. I've tried to change the depth between them, you know, maybe the fish might have been a little bit lower down. I've caught a few going a bit lower and I've caught a few going a bit higher. I've really tried to experiment a little bit. So all we're going to do is we're just going to ship out now on this this longer line and give it a try in case a couple of fish have gone on the deck. We've had the edges being cut behind us as well, which is it's mean all the mosquitoes have come out. That's why I've got a towel across my legs and my jumper on, because I'm absolutely been bit to shreds by them. But yeah, that's fishing. So all we're doing is we're just fishing top kitten 2. We're laying in the 6mm pellet, and I'm just going to take a pinchful and just throw it over the top, maybe 4 or 5 pellets, and then I'll probably do that maybe every 30 seconds, just in case a couple of fish are up on the top. There we got a fish on. In case we do get a couple of fish up on the top who want to be interested in having one of those pellets, so we can keep them shallow as well, but also it goes to the bottom. Just taking my time with it. It's gone right into the keep net there. Whoa, that was proper quick, that was. I thought it'd come off then. Yeah, to have the landing net ready. It's a smaller size fish to what we've been catching. You know, we have been having some decent fish up to the 2-3 pound mark. So this is probably about £1, maybe £2 of fish. There we go, in the net straight away. So already, you know, within changing that method, we've already had a fish within 30 seconds of it being in. So it's really positive fishing today. So it's nice to sort of come back a little bit from catching them bigger stamp fish to catching smaller fish more frequently. Yeah, we're getting bites instantly. We're missing a few at the minute, so that either tells me 2 things. One, I'm obviously not hitting them properly, and I might have maybe a bit big of a hook on. I've got a 14 on. Or it might be another reason, and I'm actually getting line bites that are actually up in the water. So maybe telling me I might need to go shallow or deep shallow maybe. Yeah, it's just reading the indications and seeing what's happening, because we are getting a lot of indications from the float moving up and down, which might tell me there's some smaller fish in the swim. And then obviously if it's going complete down 100 mile an hour and we're striking and we're not getting into it, there we go, fish on. It might be I need to come up in the water, but so far I don't think we need to. The stretch on this elastic is really good as well. Like, so I can see them, you can see the elastic shoot nearly to the end of the far side. Just trying to keep it low and make sure the fish doesn't snag me up and just try and bully the fish. Right then, well, it's come to the end of the session now. We've been fishing for about 4 hours, I'd say, in total from when we first started. It's been a really enjoyable session today. We've caught plenty of fish as well, you know, and we've not gone through loads and loads of bait. You know, we've gone through not even a pint of pellets. That's probably what, half the bag that they give you here at Bonehill. So it's been a good session. We started out fishing on the shallow line. That was the main approach, fishing the shallow line. Yeah, the fish are coming up now. I can see them up in the water. So we started catching on the shallow line, top kitting 2. Then it went quite quiet after about 6 or 7 fish. So we went on the bottom, and that's really been where we've caught most of the fish today. We've probably had about 10 to 15 fish on that bottom. And then we've come back up shallow midway through the session just to give it a little bit of a try, and we've had another 2-3 fish on that, and then we've gone back down. Been about 3.5 hours fishing out there. We've not used the bomb today. We've not needed it. You know, we've caught the fish. We've not needed to do that. And the longer lines as well, like I say, we've not needed it. I tried the long shallow line to start with, but then I could just see, and they're up in the middle, top kitting 2. You don't need to fish that far out to get them here at this venue. Edges obviously have produced us probably 4 or 5 fish in this last 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but they've all been bigger stamp fish. So we've been catching 2-3 pound stampers, and then down the edge we've been catching 4-5 pound stampers. So it's been positive fishing. We've not used the expanders today. It's just been 6 mils. We've not needed to. We've not needed to have to go and fish for the silvers because the carp are backing off. But yeah, so that's it for today then. We're going to pull the fish out now, and we'll take a couple pictures and see how many fish we've caught today. But I'm hoping that today's video is hopefully giving you a bit of an insight to not just fishing that one method. You know, when you go to a commercial, you're going to have to adapt like we have today. Adapt to fishing on the bottom, on the deck, you know, from going shallow. Hopefully it's giving you a few more tips to catch a few more fish. And if you're a beginner angler, like I say, I'm quite new to fishing myself, only been doing it for 2 years. It's giving you a few insights on how to approach commercials, and hopefully you've enjoyed today's feature, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please follow us on Facebook at Down the Edge Angling. I'll leave a link in the description, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Take care.